recording this part. So as long as you will be involved in some type of way, I'll make it active, and I'll give you credit for that week. If and this is where I tend to use more of the discussion things too. I will post a discussion for every single part of the week. If you miss class during that week and you just want to place something stronger in discussion, that's a good place to do so. I can then count that for participation in the class just in general. So again, I just want to give you as many bites at the apple as possible to be successful here. Does that make sense for at least the attendance side of things for everybody? Cool. Any problems or things that anybody can see associated with attendance there?
I do have a question.
Bring it.
Actually, I signed up since like 12 p.m. I'm
Okay.
not sure if like that's a problem or if that's okay.
You showed up early, man. Good for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'm actually very lenient with a lot of these things. I care more about what you guys deliver and what you get out of it. So if you're obviously trying, if this is just more and more and more and more. Yes. So I was just asked what was the place in Blackboard? In Blackboard, it is under get to Blackboard. Under Blackboard, it is under course documents. Cool. So there's that. Also underneath there too is some of my research if you guys are interested in knowing like what I've actually done type of thing. What would you like to cover next? More assignment stuff or find out who the heck this random guy is that's talking it? Yeah. I got a chat coming through. I love the fact people are doing it. Yay. Yeah, cool. I'll continue with the syllabus just because I want to make certain that we knock as much of that part out of the park as possible. The next thing that everybody kind of gets confused about right away is the research participation. So that's something that it is required of all psychology students that you guys are involved in some aspect of research. Since this class has been, yes, I am the same professor for Wednesday. Um, I'll continue on with the research thing. That'll go into the Wednesday part of it too. But everybody is required to be involved in some aspect of research as a participant. You are not asked to do your own research at this point. That would kind of be kind of a dangerous thing to start saying, well, you don't know all the ethical frameworks, but go research to study. Instead, we just want you to kind of see what's actively involved with it. Now, I've modified the requirements for this to where you don't have to be physically involved in research, meaning somebody is doing physical tests on you live and being part of the research pool. I'm not asking that in any capacity for you guys because since this is now an online course, you should be able to do online surveys, and there's lots and lots of things available. I believe I put on the website under assignments. Yes, I have a document called research participation. I'll open that up for you guys. Here is some details associated with what's involved with that. This is an either or circumstance. So you can either do this part or the alternative. For the research participation, if you choose to do research, you're asked to be part of 3 different studies. What you'll do is go into the study, copy a copy of the informed consent or make a screenshot of it and email it to me. That's it. Fill it out, take part in it, done. Pretty simple. I will give a whole bunch of different studies that you can take part of, explaining also inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria, because, well, if you're not AMAB, AMAB person that is age 22 to 47, well, then if you're not part of that group, then you shouldn't be participating in that research because that's who they're trying to actually get as their target population. So I'll give you some specific ones and say, if this is appropriate for you, feel free to do it. And I'll show you roughly what that will look like. So here I'm gonna log into one of my old surveys. So here is an example of one of my old surveys that I did with another friend of mine. Preview. So the informed consent on an online survey will look like this. The very first page of it normally says what the survey is about, things like that too. This needs to be psychological research per se. Now, psychological could be also things about your job or your attitudes associated with your job. That's social psychology. The only times where it's not really going to be appropriate per se would be is if you're doing something that is purely economical research that's not actually doing any assessment of you as a participant in that perspective. Very rarely will those type of things come up. So you make a screenshot of this, email it to me, done. Yes, some research is restricted to certain groups, depending on what they're actually trying to answer research questions on. So an example of that is I recently just finished doing a study of all female sales Salesforce. So female salespeople. We open that up and says, we would love to poll as many people that identify as female. Of course, the transgender element could be associated, so they could be AMAB, assigned male at birth, and they could still participate. But we just need to be clarify about saying, in our research question, how do these specific things associate with female salespeople? So it's part of just limiting out our research questions, and we'll go into that probably in two weeks or next Wednesday. So either next Wednesday or the week following will be that lecture on that. Are we clear on at least about what research expectations are there? Cool. You have an alternative to that. And that's that second part, the alternative option. So, I mean, not Kurt Cobain type of alternative, but similar. If for some reason you don't want to be part of any type of research activity, that's totally cool. Some people just don't want to be a subject of research. Great. You can opt instead to do a review of an article, and it's about a 1.5 page just review. I will go through that in one of our classes coming up in the future, just to say what are the expectations associated with that. But it's pretty simple. I give you an article to review, or you find one that you like. You go through, you say, this is what they did, this is what was found, this is what I think about it. Done. A lot of that can be done with ChatGPT. I'll even show you how to do that. I'm going to be putting, actually, while I'm at it, I'm going to throw that in right now. I have a course documents. I'm going to add in an item, LLM boundaries. I'm going to put in the boundary fonts. So I'm a very big proponent of using large language models like ChatGPT. And with that said, I think everybody should in some capacity use them, but there are ways to ethically use it, and I want to show you how to do that. So again, I even gave it a little write up here too. I used quite a bit of my own research in here as well too, just because I think that does help inform some of those type of things as well too. But where I see the boundaries are of that, that's why I'm giving you that type of information. Is this as clear as it can be right now? Cool. I'm sorry I keep asking questions like that. I just want to make certain we're all on the same page because you guys have really had some crappy communication up to this point. Communication is really important to me. Very, very important. I've been married for 17 years, and the only thing that's kept us working together is communication. Cool. Um, the grading perspective that I'm honoring for this class is tests. There are going to be two tests. Half of the grade will be on your tests. Those are, I'm pulling up to the exams. Yes, exams. They're non-commutative. We are going to go up to a certain amount of chapters. There'll be some multiple choice questions, true or false questions, and a couple essays. Those will be multiple attempts, open book, completely on your own time to get them done. My goal of that type of thing is, again, I care about you getting this done and getting it done well. Most of my students get B's or A's in almost all my classes because I don't see the point in failing anybody for not perfectly adhering to a standard of education that doesn't really accommodate everyone. So if you can get roughly through the material and show the aptitude at it, who am I to say you didn't get to do a great job at this? That makes sense? That will be available on Blackboard. I will post those when they're coming up. I'll give lots and lots of notice as well as note announcements and things like that. So, any questions about the exams? Cool. I will be using test banks. I'll even tell you guys where to get that. And I'll also show you ways that you can specifically make things a little bit easier by searching the textbook because it's all digital. So you can find the information a little bit easier. The reason why I'm doing it that way is because that's actually how you're likely going to access this information again in the future. I want to get you guys really good at being able to search the stuff that you're looking at and being able to just know what search terms to look for to be able to talk about things. Yeah, you may not be able to easily remember something like a monistic philosophy. You may not actually remember the word monistic or materialistic. Well, okay, that could mean something else. That's great. You can still know other terms to be able to look that up, which means that you're able to assimilate and use this information differently in the future. That's my aim for what we're trying to get accomplished here. That's another one of the reasons why I like using the LLMs like ChatGPT and such, because we're going to be asked a lot more in the future to be able to discern if what the output that's giving us is really appropriate and really what we want it to be saying. So everybody's going to be using ChatGPT type of things in the future in some capacity. I want you guys to kind of get good at it ethically without having to plagiarize yourself in that picture. Cool, like that, happy about that, sad about it.
Sounds good.
Cool. Very, very cool. Assignments. Everybody wants to know a little bit more about the assignments. I don't know what we're going to assign at this point because I've not really gone through a lot of the intricacies of the textbook enough to specifically say, oh, we will definitely be covering this as an assignment. One of the reasons why I have not actually gone through and done that is because it doesn't honor you as the students for what you're trying to accomplish. I want to know why you're studying psychology. And if I specifically say everybody's going to do something about a cognitive approach or specifically in neuroscience, well, great, it's going to get you to understand that, but it's not going to touch into the fact that maybe you're really interested in doing school psychology or you want to do something with social media associated with youth. Cool. Let's figure out what every individual is really needing on this, and we can tailor make it more for you. So that's kind of my aim with any assignments. Assignments will most likely be no longer than a page. I'm expecting to have an LLM involved with something like that. And I'm not saying you have to use it. I'm just saying I'm kind of expecting everybody is going to have something like that involved with the processing of their information. So that's cool. I'll show you how to do that. That's the picture on those. There will not be an exorbitant amount of assignments. I'm not asking that at all. I will compare this to another class that I'm teaching, the same exact thing. My class for I originally was signed up to teach this course, a Friday course I'm teaching. I'm actually requiring them to do a paper. And if I would have been involved with this class at the very, very beginning, this is probably what I would have been ended up doing. Um, and this is worth 30% of their grade. It is a 6 to 8 page paper, about 2,000-ish words, 5 to 7 academic sources, going through any of these topics with a research question, doing a literature review. I am not asking you guys to do this because you didn't sign up for this. So I'm honoring the um, initial class. If you were interested in doing something like this, though, I'm very, very willing to put this towards your grade in a completely different way, and we just reassess everything. Also, if you choose to go this route, this means your participation level is substantially higher than that of a student that wouldn't. So therefore, you would more likely get an A in this class if you went that route too. I'm not saying you have to, just want to give an option. I also publish very frequently with my students. So if for some reason you write up a literature review and it's something I'm going to be doing research on, I will likely reach out to you and say, hey, do you mind if I steal a little bit of your literature review? You're going to be part of the research team. Um, Likely out of this 6 page paper, we're probably going to use 1 page of it, narrowing it down even further. But I still want to give you credit for the work you did. So I've published with 2 different students at Brooklyn College as an adjunct over the past 2 years. So I'm very big about research and getting people involved in that. If you want this, that's fine. Just let me know. Are you happy this is not part of the class? I'm guessing everybody is happy that this is not part of it, right? Thoughts?
Yeah.
Some people do well with writing, some don't.
I think that I'm fine with either way.
Cool. If somebody wants to write a research paper, this is an option. I will put it in a folder as an optional option, but not required. I just want to make it clear for anybody that doesn't show up for this very first class that it is not a requirement for them at all. So yeah, it's fun.
Professor, I have a
Yes.
question.
Sure, what do you got?
So could you explain once again if we do the like optional research paper, like how does that affect our grades? Because you said we have 2 tests that are 50% and then the other work is going to be the other 50%. So how would this impact it?
Love it. Before doing that, how do I pronounce your name?
It's Kirill. The O is silent.
Kirill? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I want to make certain I pronounce that right because
No,
that
no, I appreciate that.
you have an awesome name. I
Thank you.
really love and everywhere else I teach, I'm just like normal with everything else of the two. I love that I'm the only white guy in this room. So that it's the diversity, in the involvement you guys give is so much more than I get with my other students. So I love teaching at Brooklyn for this reason. But yes, so to answer your question about how that would work out from a percentage perspective, instead of it being worth 50%, exams and quizzes being worth 50%, they would be worth like 20%. And then I would give a higher weighting towards this. Now, with that said, if you're going to be going more the route of writing up something like this, it becomes almost more like a mentorship type of circumstance. An example of that would be I had a student that again for my other class this is required, but he texted me over the weekend and we probably had a couple pages worth of text just discussing about what the type of topic they wanted to do, how to narrow that down, and why that research was important to them. Well, okay, great. I said specifically go into this area. Here's some papers I really suggest you look into for a framing and stuff like that. So it becomes a lot more of a mentor-mentee relationship, which is originally what psychology was initially taught as. So Yeah, I will give an example of this for everybody. I'll actually probably just do a separate video that I post on this online just so people can see what's going on so we don't have to use class time for everybody. Is that favorable for everyone? Cool. Yay. Um, anything else about at least what's being expected for grading? I am, like I said, I'm a really relatively easy grader. If you show up and you just basically make an attempt, you'll get a very high passing grade. That's just kind of my mentality on this. So I'm pissed for your circumstance going from live to this synchronous world. At least they didn't make it asynchronous. Because that really would suck for a lot of people. Cool. I'm happy to hear that you're not as bad. That's part of the conflict resolution, which also is a field in psychology. It's IO Psych. It's actually one of the big things that I do. I as a consultant, I very frequently will go in and just say, yeah, so this sucks. Let's talk about it. What expectations were not met on your part? What expectations were not met on your part? Wow, sounds like we have a lot in common here. That's a good place to start. So, which takes a behavioral humanist perspective, which again, we'll go into those individual terms a lot more in class. Cool. Why don't I tell you guys a little bit about me? Yeah, I knew this would make it a little bit easier for some people. I'll tell you a little bit about me, so at least you can, as some people were in the last class at the very end, there was like, yeah, respectfully, it's like, we don't even know who you are. I'm like, oh, cool. So let me tell you a little bit about me. So I also uploaded my CV for you guys, my curriculum vitae. And I'll give you a couple basic things about who I am, what I do, where I came from, all that jazz. My doctorate is in business. And I know that sounds kind of weird that I'm teaching a psychology class, but I primarily teach institutional organizational psychology is my main realm. And I've been teaching for Brooklyn since 2022. I was originally teaching strategic human resource management. There is a massive amount of psychology that's involved with human resources. And almost every single one of my publications is somehow associated with the psychology associated in that realm. I don't specifically do clinical psychology research. I'm aware of it. I definitely honor every single bit of that. I also will read and cite those papers myself, but it's not something that's always something that I'm just going to aptly be able to do. With that said, my I also have multiple other masters. I had a completely different career before I went into the business realm. My original degrees were in music. I originally studied music as composition as well as vocal performance. In that, psychology is something that is absolutely paramount because in vocal performance, I was singing operas. I had to understand the psychology of my character, how they fit into that world, as well as how they reacted to the world around them. Plus, music in itself has massive amounts of psychology triggers inside the brain about what ends up happening with different feelings that are associated with it. There are entire just worlds of music about art installations, about how you feel or you think when you're in a different proprioceptive space. So it's a very, very large field. Yep. I also teach at University of Louisiana, Monroe. I teach general business courses for them as well as statistics courses. I love stats. And I also have the belief too that everybody is exceptionally good at math. We just have idiot teachers that tell people they're bad at math. Well, no, they're just bad at communicating the way that you didn't teach them how to communicate. So part of that picture is I think that anybody that's capable of reaching down, grabbing a coffee cup and bringing it up to their mouth is actually showing massive mathematical genius because the physics that are involved in that to understand proprioceptively what's happening is huge. Okay, of course, we don't have ways to talk about that. My 7-year-old didn't know how to read a couple of years ago at all until somebody started teaching him what each of those words meant. Well, now he's starting to assimilate it, and he's capable of reading much more intelligently about what's happening with that. I argue they're similar courses with it. My main job is I own a medical clinic in Terre Haute, Indiana. My medical clinic, my wife is the main doctor here, but we do have also multiple other medical doctors on staff, as well as a couple of massage therapists. We have had behavioral health in our practice as well. After I'm finished with you guys, I actually am going to be going up and working on a couple of other patients. I actively get involved in patient care. I am not licensed. I operate underneath the doctor's license, and they delegate services to me. With that said, I do a lot of the intake, and we have, because also I deal with the operations side of this, I make certain that psychology is something that is used very, very prominent in our practice. We do a psych assessment of every single patient that's coming in from a chiropractic perspective, an acupuncture perspective, or even the medical side to know what are expectations, what are other comorbidities, what are things that are going on, what are limitations that a person might have. A lot of that can directly impact a patient's care. So much so that a thing that I personally like to do, and I frequently do massage underneath the doctor's license. We do a lot of treatment that we talk to the patient about something that is massively stressing them. So it could be a job, it could be involved with their family. I won't do it with treatments of trauma, massive amounts of trauma or anything like that too, because that can cause a lot of issues. But our tissues hold our issues in a lot of ways. And people will actually start tensing up in different ways, the way they use their muscle, and we can get so much more out of a care if we work on the muscles when they're in that stress state. So there's some very cool things that we can actually talk about how to apply this stuff immediately.
Oh yeah,
Care
I'll
about
go
application.
there.
Was there a question? Or
Professor?
yeah, we got.
Yeah, I have a question. So I'm not sure if you mentioned this earlier or not. I came a little bit late. How is attendance for this class?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll quickly jump back to that.
Yeah, sorry
Um,
about that.
yeah, cool. You sign in for attendance using the QR link or the code here. I do that every week, and that's how I keep credit. If you are 20 minutes or later in class, you get the 80% of credit for the day. If you
Hmm.
don't sign in at all, it's 0%. I can always correct that too if I see, oh, you just didn't sign in, but you were obviously in class because you chatted and or you talked.
Yeah.
That's blatantly obvious. Also, if you are involved in the discussion boards during the week or some other type of way that I can just see you were actively involved, I bump it up to 100% right away.
Okay, got it. And then was that an effect of today as well or no?
Oh, today I'm just basically sign in. Everybody's getting full credit for today.
Okay, got it. I just wanted to make sure because I did come a little bit late because I just got transferred into this class.
Thumbs up emoji. Everybody's
Okay,
expecting it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Professor.
Cool. Couple other little things about me. Just I'm gonna try not to babble on too much more. Like I said, I also have I own this clinic, work through that as well too. I am married. I've been married for 17 years. We have a 7-year-old little boy turning 8 on April 1st. That's also his mother's birthday. He was born on his mom's birthday. Hardcore into football, real football, not this American crap. Um, he's the light of my world. I think of every single thing. In our family, I actually function a lot more as mom compared to my wife. Not saying that she's not a mom, but I'm the one that I get him up for school. I also handle most of his feedings. He just loves Ronaldo. That's his main thing. Ronaldo's his main thing. Ronaldo and Messi. He plays defense, hardcore defense. He wants to be a goalie, and he's pissed that the schools don't let him do that at his age. But every single day we practice for about an hour, and he gets his goalie gloves out, and I just kick a bunch of balls at him as fast as possible to try to get them to catch them. What's really cool though is, and this may be a gendered perspective, during those conversations that I have with him, that's when we have the most emotional conversations about about things that he's having problems with in school or with people and things like that too. So, it's very beautiful. I'm gonna quickly stop and just mention too, I was being asked, we're being asked, this is Monday and Wednesday every single week. Some idiot, me, did not state that it was Monday and Wednesday. So yes, Monday and Wednesday at this time, we're signing in the same bat time, same bat channel. Cool. My son's best friend in the world is his cat named Baby Kitty. Baby Kitty is a Sphinx. We actually raise and breed sphinxes. So Baby Kitty is a dwarf sphinx, that meaning he has got very stubby little legs, also odd eyes, very strange little kitty.
That's the best thing I've seen all day. I just have to
Oh,
point that out real quick.
you're gonna see more of
Best
them.
thing give it to me. I'll
Yeah.
take all of it.
This is my kitty Car Ride. You can guess who names them. Car Ride is just my heart in so many ways. She doesn't really like a lot of people, but she likes me and Wesley. But she also functions as very often we bring the cats into the office. Sphinxes feel like a hot water bottle that is covered in velvet when you pet them. So it's not like that a snake or anything like that. It feels like a hot water bottle that is covered in velvet. And it also gives you that sensation of holding a newborn baby. Therefore, it raises neurochemicals in your brain. And one of the reasons why we purposely bring the cats in for treatment, and meaning for other people's treatments here, is because they tend to open up a lot more and they'll talk to the cat like the cat's actually the proxy for their actual therapist. So they tend to open up about a lot of the other issues that are going on in their lives. So we use a lot of animal therapy because animal therapy matters. Another picture of my badass son, looking super cool. Don't you love his hair? Another car ride. Here is a bunch of ours from all kind of hanging out there too. Here we have, this is Good Kitty, Car Ride, Chewy Chips, and then Baby Kitty. Good Kitty is the grandmother, Car Ride is the daughter. This is Chewy Chips is the granddaughter. So you're seeing 3 generations there. If we take that picture even further down, we have one of our Russian kitties named Katoja. We imported some of these cats from Russia. And the reason being is that we needed to have a good breeding stock. So, and I'm not selling you guys this at all by any means, but I'm just letting you know that yes, we do sell them. Pets go for about $2,500 a piece. I have gone down to about $2,000 a piece for them. The breeders, meaning that a cat that's intended for breeding, normally goes for about $5,000 a piece. So it makes a lot of sense to do it, but we do more with them than just do that. I will give another cute one too. Here's Wesley and Baby Kitty hanging out in their wagon naked together. Yay. More Wesley. There's my beautiful wife, Christy. We frequently take the cats out and they come into just different events. Yes, Car Ride's not that ultra happy this little girl's holding her, but think about what that does for the kittens while they're very, very, very young. Because just like in this nurture versus nature, they're like less likely to bite any of the kids that are holding them upside down, dressing them, doing all those other things, because we're putting them into that circumstance to where they're used to the behaviors of they're just kids. This is what kids do. And we also can then talk to the kids about saying, well, how do the cats know? How do you know the cat is upset with what you're doing? How are they talking to you? Well, what's communication? So we even start using these kind of as a tool to be able to talk to other kids as well as we take them to the nursing homes and such. Another one of me, my badass little son. And here is my parents as well as my wife and I all in picture at school. So yay. There was a question are these cats hypoallergenic? They are technically not hypoallergenic because it's the dander that pulls it off. There is a lot of oil. I actually have to bathe these cats frequently. I bathe them every 2 weeks minimum, but I get a lot of I use a lot of baby wipes to clean them off in between. Some of them do get coconut oil rubs. We have to put sunscreen on them, things like that too. They are not outside cats by any means. Yes, absolutely, they will be showing up in class, especially if I'm going to be ever presenting at home. If I don't have patients that afternoon, I'm staying home. I promise I will wear a shirt, but I can't promise pants. Because this is a Zoom environment. Dang it, I'm not gonna do it. Um, have I alleviated any of your guys' stress?
Yes, thank
Or-
you. That was a great photo gallery.
Yeah.
You are literally all my intrusive thoughts just shot out into one. Like all of them.
Well, I promise you all the lectures, all of the material we're going to cover it's very, very thought-provoking. My main thing is I just want you guys to have the vocabulary to be able to talk about it. That's it. So I'll present a topic about saying, well, okay, what is materialism? That'll be in the next one. Great. So this is what that term is. Why did this philosophy come up? Do we agree with it? Do we disagree with it? What problems do we see? It's going to be very discussion based. I want you guys to get as much out of this as possible. So I'm hoping this will feel like an in-person class. And also, the great benefit of that too is that we don't have like that social desirability perspective as much because the people that don't want to participate don't have to really participate in the same way. We all don't have to talk up in class and listen to everybody. There's going to be people that dominate in these classes. In my book, that's okay because other people are going to be dominating it in their own realm. Some people are only going to interface with me, and that's cool too. Whatever works for you is what I want to do. I'm retiring. This is my retirement to do this. I'm purposely moving out of practice because we're not getting paid enough. We're not enjoying the patients as much because we're not getting paid as much. I want to teach. Doctor means teacher. I never want to have the title doctor, even though I have it, other than the fact that doctor means teacher. So part of all this is that I want you guys to be able to get what you need out of it. So if you tell me you need it, we'll figure out how to get you what you need. So any other questions, thoughts?
Just a quick one. I don't know if you mentioned it. Do you have office hours?
I leave them open. So
Okay.
if you want to ever do an ad hoc thing, it's very, very, very easy to do. I also ask that you text more than anything. I'm the easiest to get a hold of via text.
Okay.
And if that's something that you guys don't want to do because of boundaries, totally cool too. Emails is fantastic. If for some reason you're having an issue getting in touch with me via email, send me something via Blackboard. I'll send you an email to make certain we're connecting because I guess there's something associated with the school and emails.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. Do you have an email that we can reach you to? Because it like I guess canceled. It wouldn't let me email you. Because I want to confirm if there was class on Wednesdays. But is there another email that you have, or we just reach you through text and or Blackboard, wherever it is that?
Whichever works. These are two of my emails, the easiest to get to. I care about the attempt. If you guys attempt to do something, it's just as important as getting it perfection. And when you guys are in relationships in the future, please pass it forward. And I'm saying any relationship because most people do not honor the fact that I'm trying, man. I'm trying so hard. Ah, that's what happens. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I guess there was missing something. UMSL. Yeah. Yeah, I love relationships. That's one of the other things that I look at a lot too, more than just workplace mistreatment. I care about how we almost have this resource at home, whether we're in a married relationship or cohabitating relationship, however that's defined. Our intimate partner is one of the most useful resources we have in the world. And again, I deal with employment stuff. I think for employers, we need to start realizing that they can be the biggest factor for helping with burnout. So yeah, I'm probably eventually going to get licensed as a therapist. That's something that's on my bucket list. But I want a school to pay for it. I want to get a full-time job and do that. So cool. Any other things that I've not addressed? I just want to make certain you're all good. Well, is this better than you guys were hoping? Awesome.
The second you hit us with the naked cats, I was sold.
Nudity always helps. Yeah, I made certain I didn't send you any unsolicited images with that too, because I definitely have those with those cats. What's interesting, and I only just because they're on that too, one of the only places that naked cats have hair, they have some on their nose, a little bit some on their tails, some on their paws, but also male cats have it on their genitals, pretty strong. And they're just right in your face. It's not, and they're not shy about it. It's awkward. But yes, I will definitely make certain that some of the cats come to class just so we can talk about it too. If any of you want to message me and just say, "Hey, this is what I want to do in psychology. I really want to make certain we highlight this." I will make certain it's in the class for us. So, if I don't go into enough, let me know. I care. I really give a crap about this. So, for my deliverables for next week, you guys will have a completely updated syllabus, meaning with times and things that I'm expecting them to happen, as well as I'll get a couple of discussion boards up. I will also post a recording of this on Blackboard for those that did not show up to class. There is no assignment. What I ask for next class is to go into said Blackboard. What initially was given was, and I'm gonna get my own version of the book thing out here too. I actually like the book that she picked because it's free. You go on here, you go under library, and basically there, if you guys could, and if you don't get to it too, that's fine. We'll work with it. If you go through thinking like a scientist, like a psychological scientist, what is science? And there's another one too, history of psychology. Those are the main ones. The history of psychology more than anything. Thumb through it, doesn't have to be perfect. You'll be able to do the lecture without it.
Can you repeat those? Sorry.
Sure. Yep. The main one above everything to look at is, am I sharing? Oh, I'm sorry, some idiot. Sharing screen. I apologize. I thought I was still sharing. I'm going back. Get back here. Okay, cool. Via Blackboard, you go in here too, link to your online textbook. I will get you your own, the version that is from me, just to make certain everything is clean and cool. It brings you to the Nova site. Go up to library, and likely it's going to be up under your textbooks or something along those lines. The introduction to psychology. The main topics to make certain we pull up are history of psychology. I like David Baker, he's a nice guy. As well as think like a scientist and what is science. You do not perfectly have to detailed read it. technically you don't even need to read it to be able to be part of the class. But if you are biting at the bit to do something, that's something to do. Are we copacetic?
Yep.
Yay. Oh, cool. I'll get you some more information. So, nope, no responsive reading. I'm asking for nothing from you guys other than to show up next week. But if you want to be able to be more ready to be able to have more detailed conversations, read those things. So, have I swayed anybody to be okay with the online change?
We're meeting this Wednesday, right?
Yes, we are meeting Mondays and Wednesdays. Cool.
I feel a lot better now, yeah, about this class.
I do too. And I do love the shirt. I love the show. Can't wait till season 2.
Thank you so much. Me too, me too.
If you're teaching any other classes next semester, you let me know.
I would love I would want them to give me more. Like I said, I just love it. This is a blast of fun for me. Yay. Cool. I am gonna go off and I'm doing a massage in about 8 minutes. So yay.
Take care.
Anybody have any other questions? I can hang out for a couple minutes. Cool. Get out of Dodge, everybody. Everybody's
Bye,
leaving.
Professor.
A bientôt.
Bye. Thank you so much. See you Wednesday.
Bien bonjour.
Oh, and Wednesday, let us know why you don't care about videos being on, because I'm curious why.
Yeah, basically, I don't want to. You don't need to share your family work conflict. You don't need to share all the crazy and the sounds in the background. I mean, great, you're blurring it, but I mean, how hard would it be to see somebody run around naked in the background for you? That's not cool. And the fact of the matter is, that can happen. It can happen, especially when we're caring for a young mom.
Yeah.
And I want to make certain that I don't put somebody in that same position that doesn't feel like they can. We have to equalize out the playing field. I love DEI. I think DEI is one of the greatest things in the world. It has been massively perverted on every single side of the political spectrum that we've lost about the essence of what makes it good. And part of that too is that sometimes we just need to level the playing field to start saying, well, what is fair? And having
Yeah.
cameras on, I don't think it's fair for everybody to require that. Does that make sense, or am I sounding
No,
kind
it
of
makes sense. It makes sense. I just it's very interesting to hear one professor saying you gotta have it on at all times, except for the 5 minute break that we take. And then today I got a professor who encourages AI and the videos off, which I'll have mine on because I definitely like one of the reasons why I wanted to do in person was 'cause I wanted to make more friends because at the age of 31 it's kind of hard to do. But
great?
I'm looking forward to this class. I am.
And question, was
Yeah.
the teachers that you've had that have been adamant about the cameras being on, almost militant with it, male?
So I've never had a online class before. The
Okay.
last time I was in class was in 2019.
Yep.
And this is literally my second week of college. So I'm still adjusting to everything. So so yeah, I've never had an online class before. So this is my second one. The first one's actually the American comedy class I told you about. But
Yeah.
but
Well, the it's very much the
he
literature
is
is
male, by
showing
the
it's
way.
it's male dominated. Almost the older baby boomer generation specifically is trying to push everybody to come back to the workforce in person, and it's not what anybody's really wanting, and it's not really what helps the organization in any way. It they're not thinking about the concept in accounting they refer to as throughput. They don't think about the outcome of everything that they're trying to do. They just want to say, well, I'm paying you for the hours you're working. Are you
Yeah,
really? I mean, in some service industries, yeah, if I'm paying a massage therapist here, yeah, I gotta pay them for the hours that they're here because it's literally physically hands-on for an hour.
yeah,
But if I was paying for somebody to do telemedicine and they're able to adequately get their telemedicine done in half the time of what's there, well, great. Should I be paying them hourly at that point, or should I just say, no, you delivered such and such, here's your money?
yeah. No, but that's where already I mean, as someone who deals with business, you already know there's like a flurry line between like the moral compass. So you already
And we're going to talk about that in class too. What is the moral compass? Why do we
I'm
have it?
looking forward to it. This side class was actually what I was really looking forward to. So I'm really glad that we ended up here.
Cool.
Thank you so
Bem
much.
bonjour.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Anybody else have any other questions? Cool. I'm gonna hang everything up. You guys have a great night.